Hey guys, it's Tizzy Time, and today we are talking about entrepreneurship. Y'all, as much as entrepreneurship is like this super fun thing and this thing that everybody jumps in the bubble to do, I feel like a lot of people don't know what entrepreneurship truly is. So, this episode, we're diving into what's going on in the world. Of course, firstly, we always got to talk about what's going on. We always have to have a review. And then, of course, we're going to jump right into entrepreneurship. In its reflection, we're going to talk about the recap of my business specifically and my client's business, a 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship discussion, what an intro to entrepreneurship is and what entrepreneurship means in this climate. And of course, by the end of the episode, we will hint at what we're talking about next. But let's jump into it. It's Tizzy time and let's talk. Okay, so let's jump into it. Firstly, a review. Y'all, it's been so much going on in the world. Like, I can't literally keep up. Like, my mind is literally all over the place, from the assassination attempt on Donald Trump to President Joe Biden jumping out the race to the death of Sonia Macy in Illinois. Like, I mean, literally, my head is about to explode. But I am very aware of political tactics and, the news cycle within the political sphere or political spectrum. So this kind of surprises me, but in the same breath, excuse me, it really doesn't. Of course, unfortunately, Black people have to always be taken at the hands of police brutality at heightened rates in comparison to our other counterparts, whether that be Asian American or white American or, Pacific Islander or Native American, whatever have you, whatever other groups identify besides that of African American or Black. It's so sad to see how we are the driving force behind elections, whether it be through pandering or whether it be through just having to fight and allocate, of course, our mindset or fight and allocate our opinions within this thought process of what's happening next. So, let's jump into, again, like what's going on in the world and updates. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard, but yes, President Joe Biden is officially out the race due to the fact of his deteriorating health. That honestly 95% of America could see that he was getting older, for lack of a better term, a little bit more senile and forgetful. Not to question his ability to do what he has to do, but when someone's old, you can tell they're old. And I'm not gonna be an ageist or practice ageism or discrimination within the podcast, but my grandfather is 84 as of today. And do I think my grandfather could run a country? Possibly, because he is great and in shape for his years and, a wonderful man at his age. But if you really want me to be honest, no, I wouldn't suggest my grandfather run for president at 84 years old. Not saying he wouldn't make a difference, but it's like, of course, that factor of him being old is always going to either discredit him or put him in a bubble of questioning his own, practice versus theory. But with that being done right now, with that whole MO of Joe Biden dropping out the race, I'm like jumping in a race, dropping out the race, it has really made me think of America's politics system or political system overall. Like, I feel like other countries look at us and laugh, because our democracy kind of looks like what is transitioning into a dictatorship or a bias through one political group. And I'm not going to say names, but we all know what the Trumpers are thinking within this mindset of this election. And no shade to anyone. If you want to vote for Donald Trump, or if you want to vote for Kamala Harris, hell, if you want to vote for Jill Stein in the Green Party through being an independent voter, then do it. But I just want people to be more logical and more knowledgeable in it and who it is, that they're voting for this election. I hear people say, I'm not a racist. I don't care about, color, or, I don't pick any political candidate who, doesn't care about another group, but you guys scream Trump like he didn't pay $45,000 in 1987 to make sure 4 to 5 young black men were accused of a grape, that they didn't commit. So Donald Trump is really not on my radar. He's never been. I've never voted for Donald Trump, and I don't see myself ever voting. And what makes me sick about the whole verbiage or the whole logic behind voting for Donald Trump for some black voters is, he helps black people, he helps businesses, he helps, he gave us a stimulus. And I'm just really hearing a lot of the verbiage, and I'm just like, no way we're tap dancing and jumping up and down for $1,600. He didn't even want to give us at first. $1,600 that Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the House and Senate had to fight to give Americans during a global pandemic. But Trump. I mean, I don't know why or what his pushing factor is, but the people seem to love him. Not a big candidate on my end, but shout outs to the people who feel like his logic and his rhetoric will get him into office. And then we have Kamala Harris running for the Democrat Party again after Joe Biden had jumped out. Why do I keep saying jumped out? Like, this man is in a moving vehicle and he just jumped out. I was like, I don't want to be president. But after he went forward and dropped out the race, Vice President Kamala D. Harris is now running for the Democratic seat for the presidential election, which, no shade or no hate towards Kamala. I love to see a woman of color progressing and doing what she needs to do. She's also a HBCU alumnus, and she's also a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated, Sorority Incorporated, excuse me. I would say AKA, but I want somebody to hear this and be like, are you a part of the group? Are you? Well, my cousin is a legacy, so get off my back. Nonetheless, you don't see me doing y'all little sound and, wearing the colors. So please, I can say AKA. I'm not bothering nobody. Nonetheless, Kamala is an AKA background. She has a lot of background in, law and policy, which I think is great. The AKA is about to go crazy if she get into office. Oh man, we about to be, in green and pink for the rest of our days. Just joking. But there has been a lot of verbiage and conflict in what she has been saying or her background within the law and politics sphere in California when she was the Attorney General. So there are a few things people are a bit upset about within aspects of Kamala. But I mean, I heard about her policies back in the day where she was, arresting young parents or parents who weren't able to make sure their kids were at school on time or make sure their kids were in school consistently. And, we all have a past. I'm not going to excuse her for that. That's some, error in her politics or error in her policy when she was Attorney General. But, I mean, are we going to sit there and point fingers like Trump isn't a whole convicted, well, he's not convicted yet, but he's a whole felon and he's been charged with 34 counts of who knows what, bribery, forgery, whatever else. He's, sat on secret documents or, documents that do not have clearance for anyone, top secret documents. Not only that, some rumors he was on Epstein's island that, the Trumpers will deny to the death of them. And just other things. Like, I dislike Donald Trump since, he was on Obama's yick. So I'm not a Donald Trump fan. And if you grew up in Brooklyn, Coney Island, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach specifically, the type of tropes Donald Trump tried to do to make sure that people of color and those who were single parents and other biases he put on applications for the buildings located in Brighton Beach and Manhattan Beach. So I don't care if Donald Trump knocked on my door personally and was like, here, Chantel, here's $4 million to, vote for me. Still wasn't voting for that man. I don't know. I don't do pandering and coonery and clownery very well. I'm a very big person on facts and information and research. And I'm just not going to vote for someone because they make a cute joke or they gave us a little check for $1,600. But that seems to get you guys going and riled up. So, that's the little background and what's going on within the political sphere. I'm trying to think about what else is going on within this area of politics. Also discussing, continuing to discuss police brutality in 2024 is so exhausting. Like, it's overwhelming. I mean, why are we still talking about unarmed black people being killed by police? Like, this is just so exhausting. We literally celebrated 5 years. I think it was a little bit, no, 10 years, excuse me. 10 years since, and it's not even a celebration, kind of more like a mourning or a remembrance for Eric Garner, who passed away 10 years ago, 2 weeks ago. So it's just like, like really hard sigh and a hard breath that we're still fighting these things to this day. And then of course you still have people playing fake ass devil's advocate, like, oh well, she had boiling water in her hand. Oh no, God forbid the prisoner, true word, God forbid, because he needs to be a prisoner, but God forbid the police officer went forward and got burnt on his skin. Oh no, you have a man who shot a woman 3 times in the face because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. If you guys don't see the heavy spiritual war going on right now, like, I don't know what to tell you. Get on your knees, start praying, listen to some gospel, find out some breathing exercises, walk every day. But this is a very heavy time right now for not only Americans, but people in general. And there's been heavy hoity-toity examples from the beginning of time to now that show why we need to go forward and not only put God first, but make sure we're at peace, because there are a lot of evil and a lot of demons walking among us. So protect your peace. That's important. And then lastly, besides the election and things of that nature, I'm not sure if you guys know, but the Olympic Games had its, I was going to say jump off, but had its celebration event, or its kickoff. Kickoff is better. It's kickoff today in Paris, France, Paris. A lot of the events are taking place at the Seine, which is, I believe French for ocean or French for like body of water, but it's France's main body of water in Paris. And I watch, I forgot what it's called, but it's about sharks in the water. I forgot what it's called, dang, but I literally just watched it maybe a month ago. But it's about sharks literally taking over Paris under, the sewers and things of that nature. And then they eventually rise to the Seine, and these sharks are like friggin' Terminator sharks. They don't die. They regenerate by themselves. Like, they don't have to get pregnant. They just generate babies, and just a weird movie. So, shout outs to America. Good luck in France. I hope, the movie doesn't come into fruition, because boy, would that be a headline. But yeah, the Olympic Games are taking place, hoping that, Barbados takes the gold in a few events, America as well, US as well. But, I'm tired of America, of course, being the top dog. We need to see some shifts and some, some change, which, I don't have an issue with. I feel like the Olympics are supposed to be a time for more so fun than competition, but, the USA is super competitive. So I'm not sure if they're even having fun, but that's what's going on. I'm trying to think what else is going on. Oh, there's a few national days this weekend. Tomorrow's National New Jersey Day and National Talk to Someone on an Elevator Day. So as you guys know, I have more than one platform as far as it goes with entertainment. But Tizzy Talks will be interviewing people in an elevator tomorrow, and also asking New Jerseyans what they think about New Jersey, which no one's ever heard before. But we'll see what New Jerseyans think about New Jersey. I know what I think about New Jersey. I think you guys have a pretty good, mimicry of New York, little us. But also in the same breath, yeah, I dance really good. I love the remixes and the Jersey mixes, and, the sexy walk, that's dope. New Yorkers aren't sexy walking, but, we want to learn. But all right, let's jump into our topic of the day, or our thought process of the day, where we're talking about adulthood and entrepreneurship. So as many of you know, I had went forward in March of this year, and I had quit my 9-to-5 position because I was just tired of working for someone else. I knew it was time for me to jumpstart my career within my businesses that I generated and built up from scratch. And ever since I decided to do that, business is booming, baby. We're flourishing. From being able to do some partnerships with New York State and New York City, but also with the senator's office, and, the representatives in local office for Brooklyn has been amazing, not only for Tizzy Talks, but for 90 Degree Digital as well. But, just jump starting again the Chantizzy Podcast. I mean, we're on episode 2. Last episode, I told you guys how it took forever and a day to start up season 5. I was supposed to start season 5 last year due to 5 years of the Chantizzy Podcast last year. But now that we're 6 years in, I feel like this is a perfect time to go forward and jump into season 5. Especially with the shift of other entertainment platforms and ideals and business ideas that I have within my, entrepreneurship journey. So I'm just thankful to be able to be in this bubble right now, doing what I love, and doing what I love for the past 6 years, and, how much the platform has changed from being something that, college students listened to and, took advice from or gave advice to now being something as an adult that we're using to navigate not only our thought process, but, just discuss life topics and adult ideals. And, now we're 28 doing the same thing versus us starting at 22. So I think that's amazing to still be having this platform going strong. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yes, entrepreneurship. So like I said, I had quit my 9 to 5. I was sick and tired of working at the company I work for. And it wasn't the issue with the company. It was just my supervisor at the time. She was just on my dick all the time. And it was a lot. I'm like, I don't even like doing this. I'm doing spreadsheets every day. You're on my dick when I do work and you're on my dick when I don't do work. So it's like, where do I win? What wins? So I just decided one day to quit and haven't looked back since. And I've been happy since. I mean, my businesses are generating revenue. I was able to go generate revenue. My businesses have been generating revenue. Not only have they been generating revenue, I have been able to really, start streamlining my company and my businesses into just that, corporations and businesses. I was able to get 2 DUNS numbers for my businesses and start really solidifying it as a business versus, the LLC terminology, but have been super happy with, the way my business is going. And it makes me question if God was telling me to do this when I was in Georgia 2 years ago. But, if you're not ready, God will make you ready. And I feel like within the past 2 years, I have been putting my all not only into my business ventures, but my strategy and brainstorming for these businesses as well. And I also have something new in the pipeline. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is just yet. I really want it to be a big surprise. Well, I have 2 things in the pipeline that are really big and are a surprise, but I don't want to expand on those just yet. Those are things that I'm really excited to have again in a pipeline. And once I expose it, once I release it, or once I go forward and start, working on ideals for it. I don't know how I'm talking today. My mind is so jumbled. Should have did my mouth exercises. But nonetheless, see, do you hear me? Nonetheless, I'm talking like I'm tired. And I got up at 11 o'clock today, but, nonetheless, the goal is to ultimately have something for years to come, and something that I can not only see myself doing, but other people doing, eventually having a board, eventually giving it to whether it be my kids, or my kids, whatever have you. This is something I see, paying it forward and, ultimately being the gift that keeps on giving. So that's exciting. What else do I want to talk about? A few of my clients' business. I just want to shout out a few of my clients that have been really pushing and putting things through the wire and really not giving up on their dreams, no matter, what creeps in through, our entrepreneurship doubts. And that's always, and I don't want to make it seem like Versace is my favorite client, but she high key is. But Versace, World of Versace, if you guys are interested in following on Instagram, she is a bomb photographer and creative director who is starting to push a creative platform ultimately where you can do photography, videography, creative direction, styling, and more. And she's one of a kind. I can't wait to see how that continues to grow. I also want to send out another shout out to 2 of my clients who have been working hard and pushing the marker to their industry, and that's the Cleaning Express, which is also my sister-in-law who is pushing her element in the, upkeep and cleaning industries. And then of course, I would have to say another client who I'm really excited for is, this client is fairly new. I'm not going to put them on blast, but the client knows who I'm talking about, and I just want to shout them out for doing what they need to do through all adversity and all, doubt. They've been really pushing very hard, and you guys will see that fairly soon of what client I'm talking about. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I have on topic here 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. So I guess I was going to do like the pros and cons. Well, the con of any entrepreneurship or any area of chasing your dreams or doing what you need to do is, of course, money. Entrepreneurship is a great thing if you're going forward and chasing your dreams and passions, but if you're chasing money, I definitely wouldn't suggest you jump into entrepreneurship. The money will come, trust me, it definitely will come. But if you're looking for money to start your entrepreneurship journey, or you're expecting money 2 minutes into your entrepreneurship journey, I would just tell you, baby, work the 9 to 5 while you do entrepreneurship, because at least it can fund what you're doing. But if you're just thinking you're about to jump into entrepreneurship and get $2 million in the first week, I got news for you. Crowdfunding never moved that fast, nor did grants and loans. So yeah, no. So I would say that's one con of entrepreneurship, but there are many pros. I mean, you're your own boss. You work when you want, when you choose to work. You get to network and meet so many new people that you may not have met through working for a business or someone else's business. You have the freedom to do what you want. You have the freedom to travel. I mean, you have the freedom to run around and do whatever you need to do without having to worry about people looking over your shoulder or micromanaging you. Micromanagement is another pro of entrepreneurship. You don't have to micromanage anyone, or you don't have to worry about being micromanaged because you work for yourself, or you're starting your own business. And I would say the last pro of entrepreneurship is that you're chasing your dreams and goals. I mean, that's the beauty of it all. Like, you don't have to worry about being doubtful or questioning what it is that you want to do. I would say the pros to a 9 to 5 is consistent money and consistent benefits, health insurance, things of that nature. But I feel like once you get your entrepreneurship journey going, or you get your business solidified, the money and the benefits will come. I mean, you don't even have to be under a group insurance with your company. You could get your own insurance, babe. So that's the beauty of it. I would say the pros about a 9 to 5, of course, like I said, consistent money, consistent health insurance benefits. You don't have to work after a set time. You have your set hours, I would say, is a pro, but that's also a con. I would say, you may have to work at a company 5 years, 3 to 5 years, 10 years before you can grow in your company. Pertinent to whatever company you work for. You don't have to worry about, work politics, which is always a plus. You don't have to worry about who's in charge of you, or, the hierarchy line, or kind of like the who's who, or what boss I got to answer to. That's another thing you don't have to worry about in entrepreneurship. So that's a pro of entrepreneurship. You don't have to check in with anybody. You check in with yourself. And I would say another pro of a 9 to 5 business will possibly be, you don't have to put your all into something. You can just clock out and clock in and not have to worry about things because it's not your business. But I would say that's a con as well. Like, if you're working for a company, why wouldn't a company be your business, But even if you go forward and decide, oh, let me worry about this company and make sure I'm doing what I need to do, you still have the issue of like worrying about that growth or going forward to see if that's something you would be able to, accomplish. So those are like the pros and cons in my book of 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. So I think that's something that, a lot of people don't discuss or unpack as far as like next steps into what entrepreneurship is. But, anybody has questions or concerns, I always tell them to reach out to me. Like, that's literally what I do. Not only do I have like a creative agency that aids in all social media or, media related deliverables, I definitely also want to have an agency that answers any questions for small business owners, entrepreneurs looking for where they can start, or entrepreneurs who are stuck in place, entrepreneurs who are love their growth and they have grown, but they're in this bubble of trying to continue that growth. Trying to think what else. I don't know. Entrepreneurship and 9 to 5 have its differences, and each one. People have that option to choose which one works for them. But I would always say like go with what you know, or go with what you grow. And when I mean go with what you grow, go in the area you feel like you will see the most growth, not only within yourself, but within your mindset, within your dreams and goals, within your passion, within what it is you love to do. You have so many options within entrepreneurship and 9 to 5 to go forward and push that mindset or that dream. And I always say, like, you have the option to chase your dream of entrepreneurship, but your 9 to 5 may be your dream. You may be able to say, I went to college for 3 years. I went to college for 4 years. I went to college for 6 years, 8 years. And, this is something I'm really passionate about, like, areas of medicine or areas of sports or areas of business. Sometimes entrepreneurship can't do it for you. Sometimes a 9 to 5 is the only way to go. And, if you're flourishing in your 9 to 5, that works for you. It's, like they always say, what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. But, entrepreneurship is something that works for me, and I've been able to find my lane in. But if entrepreneurship is not for you, please don't pursue it. I would never suggest entrepreneurship for everybody, because honestly, it's not for everybody. To be able to wake up every day and chase your dreams and really put your all into it, everybody can't do that, or it may not be for everyone as far as it goes with it. All right, now I have to chase my dreams, do what I got to do, and make money doing it. To some people that may not make sense, but, these are the areas you have to, delve into or think about when you're jumping into which one is right for me, a 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship. And a lot of the times people who go to college, work a 9 to 5, decide it's not for them, jump into entrepreneurship. I've never seen anyone really jump right into entrepreneurship from like high school, or, let's say, for example, after, jumping out of 4 years for college. A lot of the times they try the 9 to 5 route, and if it doesn't work, they use that knowledge they use from college, or knowledge they use from that nurture element versus that nature element versus nurture, to go forward and continue chasing those dreams. So whatever works for you, go forward and try. But if you do want to try entrepreneurship and see if that's something that works for you, I definitely would suggest that. But again, like I said, it's not for everybody, entrepreneurship. And there's times, even myself, I want to just give up and quit. Like, I hate it. The doubt creeps in, at least I would say, like once to twice a day. Like, why am I doing this? Or why don't I have $1 million in my account yet? And that's the thinking of a lot of entrepreneurs. But one thing I would say that helps me push out of those doubts is telling myself constantly, like, you're doing what you love. A lot of people can't say they wake up every morning, they get to jump into their dreams and goals and passions. So I'm thankful. And God is leading me on this route within that. So I think it's just a win-win in my book. But like I said, again, it's really not for everybody, entrepreneurship. And again, that's okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I want to jump into. I am still looking for people to jump in on an entrepreneurship episode for this podcast. I want to get anywhere from 3 to 6 entrepreneurs to go forward and talk about what entrepreneurship means to them, the pros and cons of entrepreneurship in their industry and within their business, and what advice they would have for someone who is pursuing their dreams, very similar to Tizzy Talks, but very different, because we want to have people who are established in that realm of entrepreneurship. We want people who have been entrepreneurs for 2 years plus, who have really jumped into the field of being an entrepreneur, and maybe even longer. I would say minimum 3 years, just somebody who knows what it's like to be an entrepreneurship, and they're not just starting their journey, or they're not finishing their journey. Somebody who's really into the thick of it, like really very much in the skin of it. So if you're interested in being a guest on that podcast, please DM me, or send us an email at Chantizzy Podcast at gmail.com, where we're always looking for people to go forward and have on a podcast, whether it be to expand on what it is that they do, or even go forward and preview some new music. I'm always looking for people who have some tunes and some music within their element of creativity, to come forward and either have a intro song on the podcast, or always go forward and preview some new music that may be coming out. So I'm always open for that. I love creatives and I love music, so we have that. So I am looking for a few people for that entrepreneurship episode. The next tab I have is what entrepreneurship means in this climate. I don't even know anymore. Life is hard, man. Life's. I mean, freaking eggs are $7 a carton right now. Like, never in my day would I think I'd see 12 eggs for $7. Like, whoa. Like, chicken is not even $5 a pack anymore. Minimum's $8. I remember me and Missy were living in Georgia, and we would love Walmart because Walmart would have like the big 3-pound, 4-pound ribeye for like $5, and it was just us two, so that would last us for a meal. And it's just so crazy now. If you want one ribeye, it's like $12. So I'm just like, whoa, whoa. I don't know if the cows have like grown or, something switched up within them. I don't know if me eating a piece of ribeye is going to turn me into, Wonder Woman or Black Widow, but no way I'm paying $12 for a 3-pound ribeye for two people to split. That's blasphemous at this point. Like, every day I want to get on the phone with Jesus and be like, Lord, the stuff you made for free and for us to have as blessed by your kingdom, they're selling. Like, the fact that we have to pay for water and grapes and apples and fruits and vegetables, Lord, but this is why I say when I'm like 35, 40, I need a ranch, because I see so many Black people on TikTok going forward and, starting their ranching and farming journeys. Is this one guy who has these goats and these donkeys, and he also has like horses and stuff like that. And, it looks like a lot of work, but he genuinely looks happy with life, and he doesn't look stressed or, out of breath or tired, or he doesn't, to keep it a buck, he looks like he hasn't seen a processed food in a minute, because, he's getting everything from his farm. So I love that. And I thought that was amazing. So yeah. That's a little bit of everything as far as like what I wanted to touch on today. Entrepreneurship is one of those things we could talk about for years to come. Literally have a sit down and be like, hey, like, literally, how the kids used to say, hold my beer, literally hold my iPad, because we're about to jump into what it is to be a business owner. Oh, I should talk about that, what it's like to be a business owner versus entrepreneurship. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So being a business owner is very similar to entrepreneurship as far as it goes with, trusting yourself, putting your dreams and passions on the line. But I would say being a business owner really entails a lot of focus and a lot of consistency as well. Branding and strategy are also important within, pushing that drive for your company. It's just so crazy how, if you would have told me 5 to 6 years ago, like, oh, you're going to have businesses, you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're not going to be working for anybody, you're going to be closer to, chasing your dreams yourself, and you don't have to have any third party or worry about anything, I probably would have laughed in your face. I would have been like, no, I'm actually going to be a CEO of this company and work here for 20 years, 30 years of my life, and then eventually, make $1 million a year, whatever have you, as a CEO salary. But not saying that's not something I can do. That's something I still can do within a company in my own name, but what I'm saying is I never would have thought I would have jumped into having my own. So that, again, that's where it comes to like letting God lead you and taking, his hand down the path he has for you, because man, I honestly didn't think I would be here, speaking at a desk with a mic, really continuing on my podcast. I didn't even think I would be in, my own apartment this year, but life is funny. Life is funny. I mean, all the trials and tribulations I went through the past 2 years have just prepped me for this moment. So I just would compare, being a business owner and being an entrepreneur to that. Just not knowing where the wind will take you, just having the utmost trust in God and the utmost trust in yourself and having the utmost trust in your business. Because if you don't, who's to know how your story will end or how your story will continue on. But I feel like if you wake up every day with just a little bit of faith in your dream, like literally maybe 10%, and you push and decide to keep going, that will take you even further than where you need to be. So that's always the beauty of being a business owner. What advice I would have for other people who want to be business owners: jump into something that you love to do. Don't just have a business to get money. Don't just have a business to say, oh, I want to sell my products and I don't want to brand. I don't want to strategize on how I can sell my products or how I can go forward and gain a bigger target audience. You really have to put your all into what it is that you love. And I feel like that's what I'm doing right now at the moment, just continuing to push in the area that I feel like I love the most, and that's entertainment and media. So very funny how what I went to college to do and what I love to do actually turned out into my 9 to 5. But entrepreneurship and being a business owner is never a 9 to 5. It's more like of 5 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock p.m. the next day. Like, entrepreneurship never has a clock out time. I mean, I literally just finished doing a bunch of business ideals for my clients, excuse me, and decided to go forward and now jump into the deliverables I need for my own business. So I thought that was hilarious. But that's just a little bit of the life. I mean, you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't. I wouldn't suggest jumping into it if you don't love it, but definitely always that option there. But as we come up on the wrap up, next week's episode, it says hints at next week's episode. Hints at next week's episode. Dang, please don't judge me for the way I was talking. I feel like I need like Vaseline under like the roof of my mouth, or like something to separate my mouth a lot more, so I'm pronouncing my words and not rushing with what I'm saying. But hints at next week episode, I'm trying to see what that entails. I haven't decided what I want to talk about yet, but I'm sure there's a topic that'll come up that I'll have to unpack and discuss. But maybe I think I want to expand a little bit more from the first episode, what the communication climate looks like on social media. And this is like my baby, my passion. Like you guys who know me know I love comm research, and I love how I can make it pertinent to social media and how we communicate on platforms that are not communication. So I'm really excited to talk more about that and what that looks like, especially what that'll look like for the future. I'm really not afraid, but more so like worried about what AI and emojis and emotes and, you know, avatars will become in the future. Like, I wonder if we'll even be able to go on dates in person anymore, within the way technology is moving. I wonder if we'll ever have to write a paper from scratch, or if it'll be like an AI template that we'll be using to, you know, formulate our thoughts and words in the process. I mean, like, there's so many things. I don't even know what that means for the future, but I definitely want to jump into that, what technology will look like for us in the future. I definitely will probably be updating about what the U.S. won in, you know, the Olympic Games too, how many gold medals we have so far, how many bronze, silver. I'm just hoping we just go for the gold. I don't even want to see bronze and silver, just gold me, please. Especially if we represent the U.S. USA. Eagle sound. No, literally. But just, you know, continue to see America in that light and continue to push on, you know, be the greatest country in the world and organize sports. But yeah, that's a few things I want to talk about. I also want to talk about anything new and noteworthy coming to any of my businesses. Tizzy Talks, I didn't say it last time, but I introduced so many segments from sexy, yes, I am, from 60-second wrap up, where we detail what occurred during the day in 60 seconds. We have Tizzy Talks current events, where we talk about what occurred currently in the world. And then last but not least, we have Week in Review, which I will go live every Sunday, and just talk about what happened throughout the week. And I think that's something that's going to be heavily engaging. So that's just a few things I'm doing on my platform through Tizzy Talks. I'm speed talking on Lay Review Critique. I am still going forward and doing reviews on movie and TV shows, but I want to start expanding into books and music as well. So I know there's a few new releases coming to Netflix. There's a few new releases coming within the music world. I know Lotto has an album that's coming out. I believe Ice Spice just recently dropped the album, if I'm not wrong. I think it was today. I'm trying to think who else has some new music on the way. Drake drops every so often, so I'm sure he'll figure something out to drop. You know, just going forward and expanding past movies and TV shows, but now doing books and doing music as well. So, and maybe some other literary works, maybe some screenplays, maybe some poems and sonnets or other forms of media, maybe some podcast reviews. I think that would be pretty cool too. But just, of course, being the critical reviewer, that's what it translates to from French. Les review critique means the critical review. It's supposed to be la review critique, but I used it as lay. Be a little bit different. It's a little informal, but whatever. I'm not French. To mange? Yes, to mange, oui. I'm trying to think what else. And then, of course, Chantizzy Podcast, what we're on right now. I'm going to continue to try to do episodes twice a week. I mean, I did one episode this week, so I'll clap for myself on that. But I'm trying to be more consistent, continue to drop 2 episodes a week, one on Monday and one on Friday. So I'm going to try to delve into that. We're going to be consistent and start holding myself accountable today. So this episode will be released around 8 o'clock tonight. So that's always a plus. I'm trying to think what else I want to unpack on. Oh, like I said, the new platform I'm coming out with. I have a name, but I don't feel comfortable with just telling everybody yet. We're going to wait on it. It's going to be something big and noteworthy, so I'm excited about that. And then, of course, last but not least, 90 degree digital. As always, I'm offering free consultations for clients who may need any social media deliverables or anything of that nature. And of course, I have an alarm set every 2 hours of the day to keep me consistent. That's another thing I can add to being a business owner. I set alarms throughout the day to remember what it is I have to do. Yeah, never get any sleep. But like I said, with 90 degree, always looking for people to aid in any social media deliverables, any media deliverables, whatever have you, any business deliverables. I always love to aid people in finding the right angle. So that's something I'm pushing to continue to do. And I believe that's it. I really don't have much else. I mean, I've been chatting for 40 minutes. So yeah, and as always, I'm always looking for guests. If you're interested in being a guest on the Chantizzy Podcast, please email me at it's chantizzypodcast@gmail.com or thechantizzypodcast.1@gmail.com. I'm working on getting the domain. Well, I have the domain name, but setting up the website so I can have my own at chantizzypodcast.com and, have it where people can go and just download right from the site. But as of now, we're heavily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. So a lot of the time I don't have to worry about sites or next steps. As always, we are on YouTube. I will be uploading the past 2 episodes of season 6 on YouTube within the end of next week. So tune in if you tune in via YouTube and other platforms. That would be awesome. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think of the episode. And yeah, have a great week. Have an even better weekend. And yeah, as always, it's Tizzy Time, and we timed our tiz. Have a good day, y'all. Bye. Have a good day, y'all. Bye. Like I'm on the phone. Have an amazing day, you guys, and we will see you next episode. Bye.